I don't think I do it.
But Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. And just because I like my soundboard, I'm going to do this. Guess who's back? There we go, man. Chris is back with us as well. Big up to Chris. And welcome back, bro. I know you've needed some time away from this football club. And I understand why, mate. I understand why. Please, everyone, do smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in. Hit the notification bell. And make sure you follow everyone else's channel as well. As you can see, it's like Sesame Street today, isn't it? There's loads of us in the video. But everyone's going to get a chance because everyone will have loads to say for sure. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, but then as I'm coming live, I'm thinking, do you know what we'll do? We'll go from back to front. We'll start with Javi, and we'll talk about each individual player and how poor they were and what we're going to do to change it. Would you switch the left back? Would you change the midfield? Would you have a different person up front? Would you play your best player? I mean, that'd be a good start, I think, wouldn't it, to be honest? But yeah, let's I tell you what, before we do any of that, let's just I guess, gauge what the mood is like in the room. I can tell from the sullen faces it's not going to be good. But, Jay, I'm going to come to you first. How are you feeling, mate?
I'm good. Football's crap, but I'm good.
Is that it? Is that all you've got? Yeah. Okay.
You want more than that?
Yeah, no. It's all right.
See how everyone's doing.
Okay, we'll do.
My right ankle's a bit stiff today. My back's a little sore, but outside of that,
good. Yeah, good. Kate, how's you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good. Luke, you're a bit rough, aren't you, Luke?
Ever so, yeah.
Yeah. Did you go yesterday?
No, mate. No, I was catching up with some old friends. I used to play rugby with.
Very old friends, mate, because you had hair, didn't you, man? I couldn't believe it.
I know, yeah.
Who is this guy?
Two goals, doesn't it?
It sure does. Max, it's coming to you, my friends.
I don't even get angry anymore. I just get sad.
Yeah.
Like I'm just watching it and I'm just going, oh, this is shit. Exactly. Isn't it? This is really bad. Yeah. Like there was in the past, it's been like, oh, I can see we're trying to do something, and yeah, it's just at times you're just like, oh my god.
There was a bit on the watch along yesterday when Robin Koch, when we got it back to 2-1 and we should have really dominated, he proceeded to give the ball away twice in quick succession. And there was a bit on the watch along where I went, I'm gonna cry. I'm that angry. Like I wanted, like I was that angry where I'm like, I am gonna cry.
Did you just give him a second name there? Did I thought you weren't giving him a second name anymore? I thought he lost right.
Robin Flaccid. Yeah, Robin Flaccid is his name. Thanks for reminding me. Rocco, how are you, mate? You look very down.
I am. I'm sad and angry. Just devastated to watch that yesterday. Pathetic. Every one of them. I hate them all. Even Javi's just pissing me off now. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, I can relate, mate. I can relate so much. It's an absolute shit show, isn't it? Let's be honest. And last but not least, we haven't seen you for a while. Chris, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. But just to sort of re-emphasise stuff some of the others have said, I just never felt more disconnected from this football club and this team than I do right now. Going back to all the crap we went through all those years outside the Premier League, etc., etc. I don't think I've ever seen a team not give a monkeys as much as this. And I've almost stopped caring, mate. I sit and watch the games. When we score, I don't move because I know either we're going to concede straight away or we're not going to go get another, whatever it may be. And when they score, I'm like, well, that was always going to happen. So I've almost just wobbed out to it now, mate. I'm like, meh, yeah, fine.
Yeah, no, I get it. The tactics. We'll start with that then. We'll go straight in with that and Javi and his tactics, because I think Chris has touched on it there. I think we're in a situation where we're passive to the point of conceding. Like, what's the point? Like, we're literally just being so passive. And then when we concede, we try and have a go, but then look so susceptible because we're trying to have a go. It's then open again. And it almost looked like yesterday, Jesse Marsh defending, if that makes sense, like how open we were at times, because we'd gone one behind. He needs to not be so passive for me. But for you, like what? Having just needs to go all out, surely, on Tuesday. Like, if we're going to go down, honestly, mate, if we're going to go down, for me, go down fucking fighting. What's the point in just sitting, waiting for defeat? It's like death by 1,000 cuts, or whatever it's called, you know?
I agree. I also approve of your use of the word fecking. That's great to hear someone from the UK using that, so keep that. I agree and I disagree, and I'll tell you why. I kind of understand why he's been a little bit passive in the first half of games. I think it's trying to be a case of we've conceded so many goals, and we do concede so many goals, so we do have to be mindful of our defensive shape. The other side to it as well, and about Christensen sitting so deep for most of the first half and part of the second half, was they had targeted that position. Willian was staying high and wide for the entire game. He wasn't dropping back. He wasn't coming back. So if Christensen goes forward, we're wide open in that corner, as we have been for months. You said Jesse Marsh defending. I don't even think it is Jesse Marsh defending the same way it wasn't Marcelo Bielsa defending. It's just poor players in poor defensive shape and a poor ability to defend. So part of me, if I was Garcia, I'd be like, yeah, you can go all out and attack, but you're going to concede probably a lot. And then these players don't have the bottle to fight and dig in to try and get you back into it. So if you concede that way, you're leaving yourself open to be criticised of going, well, you know the defense is weak. You know we can see goals, and you left us wide open. If you go as conservative, it's, well, we're not trying to win the game. We still look like we're going to concede. And it was funny because the first half of the game, I just looked at it and went, there's a team that are checked out, that have nothing to play for. And then there's another team who just don't look like they care enough to get involved in this game. The more I watched the clips of Garcia on the sideline, it's the most frustrated I think I've seen him look. Even in the first half, he was marching up and down the line, which he normally doesn't do. I think he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. I think if he goes all out, we get battered, because we have got battered. We can't say we don't get battered. And we've got battered against crap teams. We haven't got, it's not like when under Bielsa, when we got battered by Scum and Man City and, a few others. We got battered by Palace. We got conceded 4 to Arsenal, who were having and are having their wobble, and Southampton showed what you can do if you get Arsenal right now. So I think he's in a position where he's like scratching his head of, do I go all out here and get battered? Do I sit back and hope we don't get battered? Maybe nick something like we did with Southampton, like we did with Wolves. But there's bits of it I understand, there's bits of it didn't. I just think the players that are there aren't good enough. I think I saw the stats for Weston McKennie, something like 11 passes in the bulk of the time. And of that, he only completed 60% of 7 completed passes. And I keep thinking back to when, do you remember the season when everyone was saying Calvin Phillips isn't going to make it in the championship? It was that year where we just thought he's probably not going to make it. And the stats that he was coming out with at that time were 2 tackles per game and 5 or 6 passes complete. And you're like, it's not enough. It's not enough. And you look at Weston McKennie in the middle of the field, and he did 11. I think Forshaw came on and got 8 or 9 passes in a shorter space of time. So the players aren't invested in this for me. I think a lot of them are checked out. It came out during the week that the bulk of them have release clauses if we go down. So they're all looks like they've already checked out. But we said it, if we don't win 3 of the last 5 games, including the next 2, we're in big trouble. We haven't. We're in big trouble. I think, and I personally think that we're down. I don't see us fighting back out of this.
Oh, that's painful. That's really painful. So
I'm the optimistic one, apparently.
Yeah. I'm glad for you, to be honest, mate. Kate, I just because to be honest, the amount of times during the watch along, I mentioned your comments about Javi being inspiring enough, and if whenever you see him, you don't get anything from him, and in his post match yesterday, it was pretty brutal, and this reluctance to play Willie Nonto. I noticed you've changed your profile photo to Free Willie on Twitter, and
I saw that picture. It made me
you're having it. It's what Scott, because do you know what it is, right? I was like, oh, he's not playing him. It is what it is. Yeah, I didn't want to get on his back. And then Grazia says, I was protecting him. And you think, oh, he wasn't fit. And then he gives him bloody 10 minutes again. And then I start to think, no, actually, there's something amiss here. And I don't think it's Nonto. For whatever reason. I'm not sure he plays him. And I heard KG say it on his post-match this morning. He said, any other team in that bottom 8 would kill for a Nonto.
Yeah.
They were playing week in, week out. If you look at Everton, they've got Gray. You look at some of the Dwight McNeil. You look at some of the other teams, and they're all playing Gnonto for sure. But for whatever reason, Javi doesn't. I mean, what are your thoughts on just Javi and his reluctance to play Willie, Kate?
Oh God, I actually think that we are he's gone for such a pragmatic style now that the whole front four yesterday for me were just too passive, right? There's no attacking threat there, and the one person or the two people that could be a surefire attacking threat, Gnonto and Cini, yet again weren't playing. And bringing Gnonto on for 15, 20 minutes per game, where Gnonto's pissed off, he's not going to make an impact. It's ridiculous. Javi to me seems just stubborn. I don't know what the matter. I do not know what the matter is. But the guy, for me, he's too passive. This is filtering down through the team. Nobody has any passion. Javi doesn't have any passion. I never see anything from him on the sidelines. And I'm not suggesting a Jesse Marsh kind of a scenario where it just goes the other way. But for God's sake, he's got no fight in him. His press conferences are just like non-events. And I've had enough. If he doesn't bloody start Gnonto on Tuesday, and a more attack, there's no balance. The back line yesterday were Cooper and Woba. We were so much more organised defensively, but get to the middle and you've got McKennie who checked out. I mean, I don't know which was more comical, watching Aronson go down or watching McKennie run away every time the ball came near him, or try and dodge getting any action. I mean,
watch it. You might get called xenophobic. Watch it.
Look, but at the end of the day, Rodrigo was hopeless. Harrison again, nowhere to be seen. I mean, the whole thing was just there's no passion, and that's the thing that really upsets me about this. It's okay for them to bugger off and get move back to Italy or wherever they're going to go to if we go down. But what about the fans and the club and the people that are left here? They need to fight for this, and they're not. And I think that's got to start from Javi at the top. It has to.
Yeah, Rocco. Obviously, I got lulled into it of thinking Javi was the second coming. I know you did a little bit. We like him. Oh, he's more like Bielsa. I think we're just pining for Marcelo that much that anyone in any relies on, yeah, he's the new Bielsa. But do you concur with a lot of what Kate said?
Yeah, completely. I like the guy, and I think when he came in, it was what we needed. But now we need something else. We need more from him. We need someone who's going to try something. I mean, I was annoyed at the Forest game when he played the same front four, and of course we played well that night and won. But he's sticking by just the same team, and just hoping that it's going to get better. And I sort of can understand where why he wanted to be a bit more solid in the first half against Fulham, and then hope to sort of nick the first goal, but.
Yeah,
it didn't work. So so it was wrong. So I just pray and I do expect that he'll try something different on Tuesday. He can't possibly pick Aronson again. He can't possibly pick McKennie again. One thing I will say that is a positive is that I think 2 wins is easily enough here. You look at the table, the bottom 4. Struggling to get anywhere near a point again. There's 6 games to go. 33 points that Bournemouth have now probably is enough. 1 win and a draw might even be enough for us, as long as we don't. Well, maybe losing to Leicester might affect that, but it's not even just one team that needs to pick up the best form of the season. It's 2, so it's there for us. We can still do it, but they just need an absolute rock up their ass, and they all need to know that. They're just a bunch of shithouses. They need to get their act together. I don't want I don't want to even give them support. I just want to kick some sense into them and some passion. It's just an absolute disgrace, that game on Saturday. Can't believe after losing those 2 games like we did to just do that for 90 minutes and there's no quality either.
No, No, I agree. It's funny, actually. I was out earlier on and the club tweeted about St. George's Day, and I genuinely seen the notification come up and I went, fuck off. And I looked at the comments, and the first comment was a guy, Louis LUFC, saying, fuck off. And that's just like where the head's at with it. Like anything, I'm just like, I can't be arsed with yous, you know? Max, obviously you were doing DIY today, probably smashing the hammer harder than normal. You know what I mean? How's your head, mate? Because you're quite positive as well at the best of times.
Yeah, I am, but that's why I was just sad rather than angry. Yeah. I don't really get angry at Leeds. I just get like so disappointed because it's the team that you support, the team you want to see win, and they just never do. The thing is, I can't remember if it was Jermaine Genius or the main commentator. One of them said, Fulham haven't even got out of third gear here.
Yeah.
And that was what was disappointing. They were making comments throughout saying, "Oh, Fulham seem like they're on the beach," and they weren't really. They didn't have to try to win that game. And like everybody's saying, in the midfield, McKennie not just not making simple passes, and then Aronson, like certain times, yeah, he probably should have a free kick. Other times, what's he doing? The thing is, I said on my stream that when Aronson has the ball, he had probably 2 or 3 times where it was breaking and he had the ball on a counter-attack. And he ran as far as he could go before somebody caught him. And then he turned around and went back and then got tackled. And I said, it's like when you're playing football at school with the older kids and you're in year 7 and you're playing football and you're running down the wing and a year 11's running behind you and you can just hear boom, 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 boom. And you go, you just stop, turn around and just, oh, have it then, don't kill me. That's what Aronson's like. And I said, if Willy Gnonto had that, he would have his head down and he would twist in and out, drop his shoulder either way, and he would try and make the defender bloody fall over and make an ass of himself. Like somebody who just actually wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck. But it's about that passivity that everybody's alluded to, that Aronson, he's too scared to go and run with the ball, so he'll just turn back and lose it. So bring Gnonto in, even bring Ruter in. At least he tries to take on his man and to be direct. But just try something different. Like, we seem to be playing the same players in the same positions. Harrison, one of his best attributes is his crossing, but we've got no heading threat in the box. So why are we playing Harrison out there to cross it into the box when realistically he's got nobody to cross it to? And then Somerville was actually really effective in the first sort of 20 minutes. He kept getting the better of his man. After that, radio silence. And so surely as a manager, you look at that and go, all right, well, maybe in the second half, even 50th, 60th minute, maybe we take Somerville off, maybe we take Aronson off. But he doesn't do it until it's too late. He's reactionary. He waits to see if they've made any substitutions at halftime or if they've made any substitutions after halftime, and then he makes his subs. Whereas he can see, and we could all see, that we weren't going anywhere, we weren't getting anywhere in that game. So make your substitutions, try and change it. But yeah, it's just so disappointing because, like I say, bring it back to that they didn't even get out of third gear, and we realistically didn't take the game to them, which we should have done. And we're in a relegation scrap. So yeah, we just need to actually try and score goals, try and win a game of football, and maybe change the defense a little bit, because Verba needs to be in there at left centre back.
It's so true about the fact that the Fulham were there for the taking. They were there for the taking, and it almost felt like to me, Luke, that in the second half they got in at half time, and Fulham are probably going, do you know what? If we stick this up one notch, we win this game. And they did that. You know what I mean? Rasmus helped them. I thought the defending was piss poor down that side, and Melier as well, of course. Luke, what are your thoughts, bro?
I'm down, mate. I'm pretty the opposite to Max. I'm not even disappointed. I am angry. You know, I get angry because I don't like watching it, and I thought, you know, I go to a lot of games, and I watched yesterday's. I was in a pub, and I just hate it at the minute. It's not a nice place to be. You know, you mentioned about Gracia and the expectation we had of him when he came in, and he looked really adaptable. And I even put a tweet out asking if he was the tactically one of the best managers we've had in the last 20 years, if not the best. And I just felt that we turned a corner with Gracia, and it's almost as if all that hard work's been undone really quickly. The only positives I suppose I can take out yesterday, Fulham weren't great. The only positives I can really take is that performance an improvement on previous weeks? Probably, but it's still not good enough. That performance is better than losing at home to Crystal Palace and getting pumped by Liverpool. Yeah, but is it a good performance? Is there a lot to take out of it? Probably not. I don't think there was a single player on that pitch yesterday that I would actually say had a decent game or even a good enough game, even a 6 or a 7. I would say probably every player would have been at the very highest. Probably Somerville was probably the best player on the pitch for us at a 5, maybe. I thought Cooper was all right coming back into the team, but they were shit. And they, as you rightly say, they were there for the taking. We didn't want to take it. There was nothing there yesterday at all.
Yeah, 100%. I think you've hit the nail on the head, Chris. Annie was saying there is nothing there. I think like was mentioned, Somerville, Vorber, Cooper. And that's about it, really, mate. And even then, they weren't amazing.
Nah, and just look at the whole spine of the team at the minute. It's always said you have to have a strong spine in a team, and you've got Melier, he's got plenty of credit in the bank, but that lad needs to break out the team now because he's completely just swallowed himself up in his own head, trying to do things he wouldn't normally do, all the rest of it. And then you've got Robin Flaccid, who's just. I don't know what he's doing at the minute. For me, it's got to be Vober and Cooper at centre back for the rest of the season if they're both fit. Weston McDonald's, as people are calling him on Twitter. It's just he's checked out already, mate. He's on the beach and planning whether he'll be at Juve or another club next season. And I'm pretty sure his mate on Twitter isn't helping his cause either. Then you've got Rocker, who needs to play a certain style to be effective. And if he hasn't got someone effective next to him, then you're nullifying Rocker. He also needs to do a set-piece practice because 3 corners in a row hitting the front man. I mean,
a direct free kick on target for the first time in probably about 30 years for Leeds United.
then you've got like Brendan Aronson, bless him, and he does the lad, but I've seen more meat on a vegan's toothpick. It's just falls over. It just falls over all the time. And sometimes it's a foul. Sometimes it's that someone in row wide obviously dropped the guts as he ran past and it's just knocked him over. It's pathetic. Harrison's gone missing, new contract syndrome straight away. We've got a goal scorer in Rodrigo who can't play as a 9 up top on his own and a 9 who can play up top on his own who can't score goals in Bamford. So all in all, it's great.
Bang on the money.
Xavi's weak. The only thing Xavi would make me do if he spoke to me is have a good sleep because my God, that man is duller than dishwater. And when he says stuff, it's just Jesse Mars type stuff, but in a different accent. Some of the stuff he said post-match yesterday, if it would have been Jesse saying that, he would have got absolute pelters for some of the stuff he said yesterday. But because Xavi says it in a nice accent, everyone goes, whatever, nice one. It's just poor from top to bottom. And if you're running a business or a football club, it's the same thing nowadays. Poor management starts at the top. And I will always point back to that. And those absolute charlatans we've got playing football at the top of our football club, it's just filtered down. I do feel for Xavi. What was he, 23rd choice to take the management role or something? I don't know. It was way down the bog roll when it was rolled out of lists of names, wasn't he? And it's just pathetic from top to bottom, mate. And it's the fans I feel sorry for because they turn up week in, week out, and just watch a bunch of overpaid wallies, not even run around, sort of jog around and look not really interested now. So they can all get bent for me. I've had enough of them. I wouldn't be bothered if we sold a whole lot of them in the summer and started with the 21s next season when we're down. I agree with you. I think we're down.
You think we're down? Rocco thinks there's a chance. You know me. I think this is after seeing Bournemouth. I think there's a chance. Let's go around. So Jers no, Chris's no, Rocco's a yes or maybe.
I mean, I think we're going down, but I think I think we need less points than people think. I think if we get one win and a draw, I think could even be enough. But where's it coming from?
So he's a no then, actually.
Yeah.
Luke, are you up or down? What, Tuesday is massive, isn't it?
Tuesdays will determine our season for me. If we win that game, I think we'll stay up. If we fail to get 3 points, I think we're down.
Yeah, because it gives us another gap on Leicester, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're the games we simply have to win. So Tuesday is the biggest game of our season. I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, isn't it? Before Fulham, I was saying this next 3 games is so pivotal, and then we go and put that performance out against Fulham. Shocking. Right, let's talk about Meslier. We've done Javi. Let's work our way back to front. Max, I'll start with you. Meslier, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm very much of the case of I'm not questioning his goalkeeping ability. I had a guy tell me earlier on another video that I did that he always knew we were crap. I'm not saying he's crap. I just think his head's gone. Like, I'm not sure about this being turned stuff. Others might have more information on that. But I just think he's so young and every goal's going in and there's no defence in front of him at times. And for him to flap at both of them in quick succession, he's probably come off that pitch on the floor. He's probably not slept well. All these sort of things. So for me, take him out and play Robles, who's much more experienced, and just take Meslier out probably between now and the end of the season, as long as Robles doesn't have a stinker in these last 6.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Meslier, he is a good shot stopper, but that's the easiest thing to be as a goalkeeper because that's the natural ability. That's also to do with his height, his reach. He's massive, and there's no doubt that he's a good shot stopper. He's good at saving shots because that save that he made where he tipped it onto the crossbar and then it bounced down and he had to slap it away, that's an unbelievable save, and a lot of Premier League goalkeepers don't get to that. Maybe that they're just not as tall as him or gangly, but it's a very good save. But you're absolutely right. He was never expecting to be a first-team goalkeeper when he came on loan from Lorient to Leeds in the first place. He got his place because of the Kiko Casilla thing. And then he's kept it ever since, which is pretty much unheard of for a goalkeeper so young. And it's almost untreaded ground. There's not many goalkeepers who've ever done something like that. So he's not really got anybody who he can rely on about that, and I think he does just need a little bit of time out of the team. And we talked about it with outfield players, didn't we, when we said Harrison needs a bit of time out, Aronson, other players. We've said throughout this season these players probably needs a bit of time out, this lad or whatever. Robles has been in relegation battles before. When he was at Everton, I'm pretty sure he was at another Premier League.
He was at Wigan.
Yeah, so he's been in relegation battles before, and we were actually talking last week on the Final Word about we don't have any players who've got any relegation battle experience or any Premier League experience. Robles actually does, and people keep saying that he's absolutely crap and stuff, but we've only really seen him in the FA Cup a little bit, and I didn't see him make any massive mistakes, any glaring errors. And he's, again, talking about physical attributes, he's massive as well. So it can't be, he's probably keen as mustard to get a start to play because he's always posting videos on his Instagram of him making saves and stuff in training. Give him a go. Just a bit of a calmer head, bit of an older head, bit of experience. And then if you then put Verber in front of him, then I think we look a little bit more solid. But like I say, I think Meslier just needs a break. And I think most of us would agree on that.
Yeah, does anyone disagree?
I think I do, to be honest.
Oh, really? Go on, Rocco.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly did before Fulham. Like I
agree with that bit. Yeah,
because I just backed him to come. The 11 shots in a row going in. I just saw it as a bit of an anomaly. They're all finishes. From breaking the defense down pretty much, and I just backed him to have a blinder and come back and. Looked like he might do that, but then the 2 mistakes for the goals. I think his head's gone. It's reminded me of Robinson in the relegation season of 2004. He was hopeless every week. He was making mistakes, and he was a young keeper. A very similar situation now. But I don't know. I just still back Meslier. I won't. What happens if you bring Robles in? Like it could. I'm maybe scarred from Robka, but like it could be another one of them. It's a total unknown. And then what? Then you're going back to Meslier, and his confidence is even more shot. I don't know. I'd stick by Meslier just out of respect for him, because I rate him really highly, and I know others don't.
I would respect none of that squad right now because they don't deserve it. None of them are fighting hard enough to deserve any respect. None of them have, and as far as I'm concerned, the comments about having credit in the bank, they've all lost their credit in the bank at this point. They've made enough mistakes over the course of this season that any credit they did have is long gone. For me, I same as you, Joe. I heard you say it yesterday. Do I think he's a good goalkeeper? Yeah, he will be. He'll be a really, really good goalkeeper. I've no doubt there's a really good goalkeeper in there. But right now, outside of the defensive errors leading up to yesterday he started quite well. He made a couple of decent saves. But the problem for me was both of the goals that he conceded are basic goalkeeping stuff. They're not difficult stuff. He will spend the bulk of his week in training dealing with crosses and balls being pinged in at angles for him to either dive on top of and smother or tip over the crossbar. The first one, I know Christensen's getting a bit of stick for letting the cross in. Crosses happen. They come in games all the time.
No. It's not about the cross, mate. It's the way that he let the ball just go to Willian, man.
It's still dealing with a cross. It's a cross to the back post. And all he has to do is sort his feet out and tip that ball over the crossbar. But he doesn't. And then the worst thing he can do is he palms it down in front of his goal, which is just criminal to do that. It's like punch
if you're going to do it, just tip it over the... Yeah.
But his positioning's all wrong. His footwork isn't good enough, and he palms the ball down. And then the second one, there's a couple of things. Either one of the centre-halves gets out in front of him, blocks the cross coming in, which doesn't happen. But then it's a straightforward ball into his chest. Just dive down on it, get your chest behind the ball, and smother the ball. And he doesn't. He palms that straight out in front of the striker again. So, like, for me, up until that point, it's a pretty passive performance, but it's 0-0. And then there's two very, very glaring goalkeeping errors that cost us. And also, like, Robles is not an unknown entity. He's played in the Premier League. He's an FA Cup final medal. You know, he's played in relegation battles. He's been in the Premier League. He knows it. He's played in Spain as well. He's a player that's played at the top divisions around the world. Not always top clubs, but top divisions around the world. So he is an experienced goalkeeper. I'm sure the reason he was brought in was to help Meslier along and give him experience. But right now we're in a relegation battle, you know, and we were last year. And also, Max, just on the comment about not having relegation experience, the bulk of that squad were in that team last year. They should have relegation experience. They were here before. They've done this already. That back line has been here before. So, but the difference is this year the ball seems to be gone, and maybe the characters aren't as strong as they were. But you can't keep making errors the way we're making errors, and then just dishing off well, they're young and yeah, they've got credit in the bank. That's gonna just, you know, credit in the bank all the way down back into the championship again, because that's what's going to happen. Either somebody makes a ballsy decision here and goes, we can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again, because they are the same mistakes. They're basic errors. Basic football and stuff. If I have a goalkeeper who's doing that at amateur level, I've got a problem with the goalkeeper, because he should be dealing with those stuff, and he's not dealing with them right now. It's great that he makes the big save from the free kick. It's a brilliant save. Not taking that away from him. But again, it's the basic stuff that's costing us, not the spectacular stuff. They scored a free kick. You're not giving out about the goalkeeper making a mistake. When they scored two, they've scored from. It's 100% the goalkeeper's fault for me. Now, I've backed him and protected him in other games. I've said, yeah, it's not his fault. It's the defense in front of him. But it does go back to that as well. Go back to the fact that the 10 players that are on that pitch aren't good enough. And we talked before about, are there three worse teams in the Premier League than Leeds? Right now, I don't think there's three worse teams than Leeds. I think we've got a goalkeeper who's, as you said, head is gone. I think we've got a back four who don't seem to know where they're supposed to be playing. We've got players that were brought in to play in a different system. So every time Aronson gets the ball, he tears forward, because that's what he's done at Red Bull, and that's what he did with Jesse. He's still doing the same things. Christensen's playing narrow because he always played narrow at Red Bull and played narrow at Red Bull. These players aren't built for this. They're not built for this system. They're not built for this fight. They were never brought in for this. And unfortunately, we're left with them. And either somebody makes a very big decision and starts pulling these players out of the squad and putting lads in that either, you know, bring Forshaw in for the last couple of games, bring Robles in, bring experience into that team, and then leave the front three to be the inexperienced. Then you play your kids up front, but make sure your back of house you're guaranteeing yourself at least a point in a game and maybe nick something. But right now, they're so weak at the back, and the goalkeeper's head is so far gone. Every chance that someone yesterday they're going to score against us. I just don't feel they've got any credit left. Sorry, very long walk there, but I'm angry.
No, it's fine. Can everyone hear me all right? Yeah. Sorry, I had to shoot off. Right. Yeah. No. Listen, I agree with you, and I love Meslier. Let's talk about right back. For me, yesterday, one glaring, I think he's woeful. Technically on the ball, Rasmus Christensen is absolutely abysmal. And when you're trying to get... I honestly don't know why he didn't bring Ayling on. And the reason I say that is because we've seen many a time down the right-hand side, Ayling overlap, play 1-2s with his winger. And I just think in the second half, even for 10 minutes when he did have Nonto on, and Nonto should have been on much earlier than the 10 minutes he played. But I just think Ayling, Somerville, okay, defensively might not be good, but I think they'd have created, and this is what we was lacking and missing. And if you're saying that Rasmus is better defensively, I still question that personally, if I'm being totally honest. I know Ayling can be bad at times, but what are we seeing from Rasmus where we're like, oh yeah, man, amazing defensively? He's not. If you watch that ball yesterday, I'm screaming at the TV, do not go to the ball, do not. And he just runs straight over. And then Williams in acres of space, and he's got a free cross. I'm not saying he could have cut out that pass altogether, but make the distance smaller. Like, why are you running towards the ball and giving him more? Anyway, listen, I'm not a manager. I'm not a tactician. I might be talking shit, but you could see it, man. And I think for me, Luke Ayling has to come back in. Because we've already seen with Cooper coming back in. You know, everyone said he was the worst centre-back we've got. Now I'm seeing people say, oh, actually, Cooper's one. And this is what a little bit of grit, a little bit of passion, a little bit of care does, you know, because Cooper has got that. And it's the same with Forshaw. Sorry, we've seen more in 10 minutes from Adam Forshaw than we've seen from Weston, fucking Where Are You, McKennie in the last 3 games. But and Joe, he played for 10 minutes. On,
it's a shocking indictment of the recruitment of the team that we're having. Yes. It's not that Cooper's, you know, people are changing their mind on Liam Cooper. Because I'm not. He shouldn't be in the Liam Cooper should not be in the Premier League at this day and age. Neither should Luke Ayling. It's the fact that the recruitment has been so poor and so badly done that you're in a situation of now you're looking to the bench and going, well, who can dig us out with this? Well, maybe it's Cooper, maybe it's Ayling. And it's the same people are saying now, you know, Archie Gray scored a great goal today. Get him in the team, get Darko. It's when it's not working, you get desperate and you look for some form of a solution. So, but it goes down to the recruitment. They shouldn't. At this day and age, we should not have those players and be relying on them at this point. And because we are where we are in the league, it is a shocking indictment of the recruitment policy that they're still in the team and that we as fans are now in a situation where like, yeah, we need them in the team. We need them in the team. Shouldn't be anywhere near it.
The thing is as well, you can see that somebody like Robin Koch on paper was a good signing. About 13 million quid. Freiburg.
No, don't get me started on him, Max. So, go on. So sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting to it because.
Go on. Sorry.
He, on paper, he's a good signing and a good player when we first brought him in. So everybody was excited about it. But after a year or two, when you can see it's not working and you've got the opportunity in a transfer window to say, okay, well, maybe that one's not worked. He's probably not up to the standard that we need. Then get a replacement in and push somebody else further down the pecking order, or sell Robin Koch and get another defender in. The fact that we are so reliant and therefore so shit without Tyler Adams is unbelievable. And the thing is, some of our best signings have been accidents. Like when you look at Max Verber, he wasn't carefully scouted for years. That was Jesse Marsh saying, dude, he was pretty good when I was at Salzburg. Just bring him in. He's been class. It's an accident. Willie Nonto, we couldn't get any of our targets. He's not Premier League ready for a couple of years. Oh, let's just get him. Panic buy one of our best players. Like the good recruitment is accidental, and it's only now you're starting to look back and say, well, actually, yeah. Look at like Strauch was tipped to be one of the best defenders at the club, but I just don't think he's ever going to reach that level. I don't think he's got that potential anymore. I just think he's going to be an average defender who maybe will go and play in the Eredivisie or one of the other European leagues where it's not as difficult to defend. And I think he'll live out his career there. I don't think some of the players that we've got are good enough. And therefore, why haven't we strengthened when we had the chance? Instead of buying 47 wingers, spending 22 million pounds on Brendan Aronson, bring another centre-back in, bring a bit of experience in as well. I'm sure there's defenders that we could have got for a bit more money. Like people like, obviously we're never going to get Thiago Silva, right? But when he was brought in, everybody said he's 35, he's past it. But if Leeds were to go for somebody who's got a lot of experience, who is a little bit older, Leeds don't seem to want to buy anybody under the age of 25, over the age of 25, sorry. But if Leeds bought a 29-year-old, a 30-year-old centre-back who's had experience for years, obviously not to the level of Thiago Silva, but somebody who can command a defence, who can be solid at the back, we could have been in such a better position, because half of our issues have been conceding goals. But the bench, actually, the thing is, the frustrating thing as well, I know we're relying on Tyler Adams and he's not here now, but when you look at the bench, you go, well, on paper, you've got Willy Gnonto there, you've got Sinisteri, you've got Ruta, who's we've not seen the best of, but who's £35 million, and none of them are being used properly.
Yeah, the Ruta one is insane now. You know?
Yeah. Spend £35 million on a brilliant bloody centre-back, and we would have all thanked you for it. We had Rodrigo and Bamford. Rodrigo scored. I know everybody was crying out for a striker, but...
We should have got Guy Crespo. That's it. 18 million. He'd have done more than Ruta, I'm telling you. 100%.
Of course he would have. Of course he would have. Yeah.
Luke, what were you going to say, bro?
Yeah, I think our recruitment has been poor for first team players. I think the youth recruitment's been really, really good. I think all the youth recruitment, and even disagree with you slightly on Strike there as well, because I think he will be a good player. I think we underestimate still how young and what we expected from him so quick and so soon. A lot of pressure was put on Pascal, I think, playing left back, playing out of position for the best part of a year as a centre back. He's still very, very young and very raw, and we have seen when he's partnered with somebody with a bit of experience and a bit of technical know-how, somebody who's been around the block, he's not that bad. And I still see a good future for him. So on the recruitment side of things, I actually think it's been all right. But you're quite right in what you say. When the recruitment for the first team is we're almost doing what Chelsea do and buy for the future, but we haven't got that first team squad ready.
No,
we can't afford to do that,
got that squad ready. It's great doing that, buying a Rutter for 35 million if you've got somebody who can do his job already, and play him in spurts. But we haven't got somebody to do that. Same with like you mentioned the centre backs. It was obvious Llorente was never going to be good enough, so we've loaned him out. We haven't replaced him. We bought Warburg as a left back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
It's about getting that mix of youth and experience. And the when you look at it, you think, okay, a lot of those young players are good signings for young players, but they're signings for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. We need signings when you're trying to stay in the Premier League. You need signings for right now, right this second, to come in and make a difference. Where I get trying to sign players who are going to have a sell-on value, but it's no good doing that if you're going to go down, because you're going to lose shitloads of money anyway. So you need to mix. It's about having a spine of a team as well, isn't it? Like, we've got an experienced old striker in Bamford and Rodrigo. When you start to look at the midfield, you haven't really got any leaders in there. Obviously, Tyler Adams injured. And then when you look at the back, you've got Cooper, but like Joe said, he is at the moment one of our best defenders. But he shouldn't have to be, because we shouldn't be at that level, and that's why we're in a relegation battle.
For sure. I think we can sort of like skip on Cooper and Vober. Are we starting Ayling, everyone, or what? Does anyone disagree and think Rasmus should stay in?
I don't think either should start at right back. I think they're both absolute shite.
Who would you put in though, Lou?
I'd play Robbie Cook at right back.
I'd have my
I don't want to see him, man. I don't want to see him.
I'd have mine.
Robin Cook played well at right back last season, or even this season.
Yeah, he did. He
had to fill in. It was in the end of last season in the running, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jesse, because we kept putting the ball out to him and he kept heading it in. Yeah,
that's right. And he's not the quickest, he's not the most technical, but he will stand there and make a tackle. His positioning's a little bit flaky, and look, he's not had the best few games. So my back forward it'd be Warburg and Cooper at the centre, Cock at right back, and Firpo, bring Firpo back in at left back. I just think we'll look far more solid. I thought Ayling deserved to be dropped when he was dropped, but Christensen's come in and not done anything. So I think they both deserve to be dropped.
The thing is, as well, we haven't even consider. Well, I don't think Javi's even considered playing 3 at the back. If you put Verber, you put Cooper, and you put Koch as those 3 centre backs, I think you get a bit of protection for Cooper, because Cooper is not very mobile. You get a player on either side of him. Firpo takes away a lot of his defensive responsibility. He's a lot better at getting forward, overlapping, underlapping, trying to get the ball in the box, and obviously actually having shots as well, which he has done a couple of times this season and scored one. And then Ayling, it takes the defensive responsibility off him, which is what most people's complaints are about. And the best thing that we can say about Ayling is that he does get forward and he does try and make things happen. So the fact that we haven't tried that, we could still have the 2 in midfield. And again, that puts a little bit less defensive pressure on them too. Like, he's played that system before at Watford. He's played 3 at the back. I don't understand why he doesn't try anything different so far. Like, it's clearly not working.
It's quite a good shout, isn't it? Playing Koch, Cooper, Verber, and then have Ayling, and then Firpo. Yeah. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and then you have a front 3 of Bamford, Nonto, and Sinistera, or like, just do something different. Use all our best players.
Couldn't possibly do that.
I think Javi's played a back 5 or a back 3, however you want to look at it, previously, and I think he was well known for playing that at Watford at times, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't get the hesitancy to try something different. When the thing is, we conceded 5 against Palace, then 6 against Liverpool. You think, well, maybe we need to be a bit more solid at the back, but you're still getting attacking threat, because you've got a front 3. And then you've got 2 in the midfield with almost a left wing back and a right wing back, who become midfielders as well when they're on the attack. So you're only dropping 1 player out of the attacking situations to try and be a little bit more solid.
And why is it going to be Aronson?
Well, yeah.
On the bench.
That's the best shout, isn't it, really? It would be Aronson. I didn't even think about it, but the way I'd worked it out, it was Aronson getting dropped.
Yeah,
Before we do move further up the field, just gauging sort of what people have said on it. Have I gone overboard on Robin Flaccid? Because I thought he was absolutely abysmal yesterday.
I don't know. Mate, they were all rubbish, so I think you could pick any one of them out, to be honest. But for me, we're all sat here discussing, where we could move players and what tactical formations we could use. Doesn't matter if the players aren't going to bother when they're on the pitch.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're not bothered currently, from what I'm seeing. They couldn't give... Like I say, Leeds United is built on, before anything else, you go out there, you bang the badge and you run your heart out for that shirt. And they're not. So it doesn't matter if we play 3-5-2, 1-1-10, 11-53 up top, whatever. It doesn't matter. If the players aren't bothered, you're not going to get anything, and they're not bothered. There's too many in there who've already checked out, thinking about where they're going to play next season. All the rest of it. Xabi's gone at the end of the season. I'm sure he probably already knows that. I'm not sure he's overly bothered. I don't think he cares anymore. He can sit and eat his bogies in the stand with his sunglasses on. Victor Orta is all false outrage and drama for the cameras. It's just an absolute horror show. It's, I've seen better acting on Coronation Street, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It was funny when he went like this.
Yeah, it's pathetic, mate, and not one of them are willing to put an ounce of energy into this. So, just play the kids. Play the kids. As the old saying goes, play the kids. Play the kids. It'll be fine, because this lot can't give the monkeys.
Self before side, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. That's a great show. Right. Let's talk about the 2 American boys. Weston McKennie and Brendan Aronson. Do you know what? Someone's put this picture on. I think it's our good friend Ash, the absolute legend that is, but I don't think you can get too far away from that, really, can you? I think that's a pretty fair reflection about what the situation is. Do you know what I mean? They're so bad. Like Weston McKennie from Juve, Juventus, played in Champions Leagues, scored goals at Juve.
Yes. I got him all wrong. I was so excited about him.
Oh, mate, tell me about it.
I was as well.
We should have paid. We should have got Unahi in now. Do you know what I mean? That's what you look at.
He's not done much in France after his first goal. He's been on the bench a lot for Marseille. So
Is he? But he's still better than Weston McKennie. And do you know what? On the bench, Unahi would do more than freaking what Weston McKennie's given us at the minute. And Brendan Aronson, listen, he gets in nice positions, etc. But
he tries, right? He tries.
But it's weak as piss, isn't he, Kate? Like,
I was actually keeping a little like tally chart yesterday. I was watching the goddamn match, and I gave up because my right hand was starting to ache.
But they.
Nobody said a word, Kate. Nobody said a word.
I can't, man. But the thing is, even when he is fouled, right?
Doesn't get them.
The referee doesn't give it him because he's like, you've been on floor more times than not. You're not getting it.
See it. It's pathetic. When you look at it and you focus in on him just doing that, it is pathetic the amount of times he goes down.
Yeah. He needs to go on a Bayern summer workout plan. Did you see when I think it was Leon Goretzka and Robert Lewandowski, after they were like fairly skinny and just like normal footballer shape, and then they came back after pre-season and they were absolutely built like brick shithouses. Like it's a thing for clubs to go, do you know what? You're getting muscled off the ball constantly. Like, put some timber on, like get bigger, put some muscle on.
Why isn't anybody saying that? Max.
I'd say they are, but you can't do that mid-season. You can't do that kind of transformation.
This is what he needs. Yeah, to be a viable footballer.
It goes back to what we're saying about the signings. I think there's a player in Aronson, but he's not ready yet.
I agree, 100% agree. I think that's the difference between him and McKennie. Aronson's trying, and you can see future potential. He's 22 years of age. You can see if he gets a good summer preseason with the fitness guys working with him, bulking him up. Similar to what happened to Jack Harrison when he was in the championship. He wasn't there his first year with us. The second year he came back, he was bigger again. Like, he had that workout that he did in the States. They'll work on that kind of stuff. But the problem is, again, we don't have the bodies to take him out to put somebody else in. And again, at 22 years of age in the Premier League, in your first year in the Premier League, you should be coming in for 15, 20 minutes of a game. You shouldn't be starting every single game. And at least, and it's a shitty thing to say, but at least he runs around and gives a shit. Whereas McKennie sits in the middle of the park, who's out of shape, out of form, and doesn't care. So there's a slight difference. Aronson, I'm less harsh on, because I can say it's his first year in the Premier League and he'll get better. The problem is we need him to be good right now, and again, that's the board's issue. We're not buying players for now.
Just on McKennie, is there some sort of clause where he has to play so many games, so we have to sign him? Because I'm thinking completely outside the box here. Like, but what?
10, but we have to stay up when it's 10.
Yeah. So what my thoughts? I mean, I might be being like proper thinking left field here, but the Americans who are coming in might want us to sign McKennie. He's a bit of a poster boy, So do we therefore feel obliged to have to play him?
I've seen us they were the ones that got rid of Jesse. I don't think that's the point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if he has got a clause in there, would not play Weston McKennie again. I think he's absolutely woeful. I'm really sure. I'm annoyed because I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and Weston McKennie's whole shtick is Harry Potter. You know what I mean? With the wand and all that, I was like, I can't wait for him to celebrate flicking the wand out and that. We've not seen him anywhere close to a goal. I just think he's a flat. I don't know. I don't watch enough of him, obviously.
Yeah, but Joe, I think with him, he's made his mind up. He doesn't like it over here. He doesn't like the weather. He's like pissed off because he hasn't got the heart. He's got no investment. I don't necessarily think he's absolutely crap. I think that on his terms, where he plays, in the whatever club he goes to, if it's on his terms and he's happy, he'll perform. He just couldn't give a shit at the moment. He's like, he's gone. His head's back in Italy or Texas or wherever it is, and he's just not interested. And I think it's more mental. And someone's just said in the chat about Wrexham. I mean, those guys. Did you see that match yesterday? Wrexham.
No,
I mean, guys, the thing is, can I just go back to what somebody else was saying as well? That
I don't give a shit about Wrexham. I don't care. Like it. No, I'm not having a go at you here, Kate. I'm just saying, like, oh no, but what I'm saying is they've got Ben Foster in non-league. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a fairy tale. They're the Man City of non-league. Imagine how non-league fans feel. I'm sick of this piping off, Wrexham. I've not watched any of the programme. I'm not having a go at you either, Kate. I'm not going... Are you saying, oh, they gave it a try? No wonder, because none of them are non-league players and they're playing in bloody non-league. They're going to rip it up. You know what I mean? Sorry, calm down. I just think
that's fine. That's fine. But let's just talk then about the teams around us. Southampton, the way they played against Arsenal. You know, Leicester. Yeah, okay, they were a little bit lucky, but they played pretty decently against Wolves. And then who were the other guys? Who else was it yesterday?
Bournemouth.
Everton. Yeah, but even Everton got a bloody draw yesterday. Do you know what I mean? That shows a little bit of fight. We're not showing anything, you know. So being the worst team in the Premier League and not giving a shit. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster, really, isn't it?
The thing is, everybody's talking about the fact that the players aren't giving a shit. They're not running hard enough. They're not trying hard enough. But we can't replace the entire 11. Like, we're stuck with the players that we've got. We can't just bring in the players that are going to...
Like, the likes
it would help if we actually played our best players, though, right?
You just take him out. It's the one or two that are really dragging everybody else down that you remove and replace with busier players, you know.
Busier, absolutely, yeah.
Forshaw's busy. I mean, Adam Forshaw's a tidy passer ball. Again, he's not the future of the club and he probably shouldn't be the present, but he doesn't lose the ball. He keeps it simple. He does do the covering around the back in front of the back four. He does the like little, I call it the connective tissue between the midfield and the back line. He does those little triangles really well, and he runs around a lot and gets stuck in. He'll probably break himself after 5 minutes, but at least it'll be 5 minutes of effort rather than the other plodding around the middle of the park for nothing.
The thing is, we talked about it on last week, how sometimes you need a bit of a combination of the reason that at times Adams and Rocker work well together is because Rocker's not very mobile and he needs somebody to do his running for him and to break up the play. And Forshaw, he comes on, he's a tidy footballer. We talked about he's technically tidy football, but he's also not very mobile. And when you then look at who else we've got who can play midfield, it's like, hold on, we're digging into the youth academy now. But I genuinely think from what we saw in that first half of Darko JB against Cardiff, it might be worth putting him in there with Rocker because
what have we got to lose? What have we got to lose now?
He's big, he's powerful, he's got big old strides, he can get to the ball first. He's technically, obviously, was at Man City, so he's going to be a decent footballer. But when that's what we'll have to look to, because if we drop McKennie, it's either Forshaw or whoever's after that, and that becomes JB. Or some people have been saying Archie Gray, which I don't think he's ready to come into this relegation battle and have that pressure on his shoulders. And if we go down, we keep Archie Gray in the Championship anyway. But I think I would make an argument for bringing JB in and just letting him actually have a little bit of license to leave Rocker behind him, covering, and try and help out, actually attempting to win the ball, attempting to get the ball forward. But yeah, we are kind of scraping the barrel.
Yeah. I think for me, the most like for Adams is Forshaw, and it's a natural swap. McKennie isn't working in that role. Simple as he might look. He must be a good player. He's been at some good clubs and done relatively well there, but it's not working for him in that role at this club right now. So the obvious like for like, if he's fit enough and can play for probably 70 minutes or so, he's Adam Forshaw for me.
Yeah, I would play Adam Forshaw every day of the week now. I think he, like you say, Luke, he showed us more in 10 minutes, right, than Weston's done in the last few. This again probably will split opinion, but I think Bamford has to come back in for me. I know Rodrigo was scoring the goals, but we're now. Kate, we'll come to you if you disagree. But what my point is, Rodrigo did well under Jesse.
Yes,
but
he did.
Playing the way that we do, he can't make the ball stick. Rocco, I know you've been pretty quiet for a while. Let me come to you, mate. What are your thoughts on the front, man? Do we go with Rutter?
Oh man, do you know why it's a tough one? Because I don't like any of them. I think Bamford's finished for me. I don't think he's good enough. I think he does bring some stuff, but even his link-up play, I don't think is good enough. I don't think he fights hard enough half the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes he's
yes.
on it and he does all right. But I don't think he's good enough. Is he the best of a bad bunch? Perhaps. Or maybe you just play Rodrigo for those little moments of class and maybe, you know, score a goal that others wouldn't be able to. Rutter just looks like a wet lettuce, as almost as bad as Aronson for just going to the floor. He's got no fight in him. He came on against Man U with his sleeves over his hands, ambles about a bit, doesn't even look like a footballer. Again, a few glimpses of quality, but I wouldn't want to trust on him, you know, when we're talking about wanting people to fight for the shirt. I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team. I'd have Gelhardt. I'd rather have Tyler Roberts than Aronson. I mean, it's crazy. Aronson's had 8 shots on target, you know, all season, 8 shots. Yet Gelhardt's out on loan. It's unbelievable. So I don't know. I probably would go with Bamford, I suppose, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Maybe Perkins.
It's not a bad show.
Is anyone else taking Roberts over Aronson? Chris,
I take
Bernie. Raise your eyebrows.
Yeah, and I hated Tyler Roberts.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Kate, no Bamford for you then?
No, I mean, look, Rocco summed it up perfectly. At the end of the day, it is the best of a bad bunch. You know, really, we need shot of that lot. But Bamford is the only one. I mean, it made me laugh the other day when he thought he'd scored, and the Leeds tweeted out, you know, he scored, and I corrected them. I said, no, it wasn't actually. It was an own goal by Polino. But you know, not that I was to rub it in, but look, he is the best of a bad bunch. But even him, he's got no passion, or I don't know. I think the same as Rocco. At the end of the day, I think maybe with him, with Somerville, Sinistera, and Nonto behind him.
Is a crazy thought. Why can't we play both of them up top?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4-4-2.
I can play 5 at the back because we'll have Nobby.
Stop playing 2 defensive midfielders, because when you got 2 defensive midfielders none of them are any good at playing defensive midfield, play one. Let it be a Forshaw rule. Just maraud around in front of the back 4. Do the simple passes. There's nothing special that Adam Forshaw does, but he just links the play quite well, nice and sensible. Put Gnonto, Sinistera, and Somerville in behind Rodrigo and Bamford, and because Bamford can drop, hold the ball up, and you've still got Rodrigo ahead of him. Then do something different, because what we're seeing at the minute doesn't bleed in work quite clearly. So I don't know. Let's mix it up.
Yeah. Does anyone?
I don't like Bamford. There's aside the Bodum, that's a problem here as well. One thing that's being missed is how many clear-cut chances are we actually really creating for the strikers to score from? You know, there's feck all. There really is. There's not a whole lot. You know, it's 1 or 2 per game of their half chance. You look at all the other sides in the league. You know, the strikers that are scoring goals consistently are getting tons of chances per games. You know, they're getting good chances. They're getting one-on-ones with keepers. When was the last time we saw Bamford or Rodrigo one-on-one with the goalkeeper? The Spurs game, was it? Spurs last time we saw one to get one-on-one with keeper. We don't do it. We don't draw defenses out. We don't play balls in behind. We don't expose defenders. We don't do the thing that we can see goals from all the time. We never get to the end line and pull the ball back. We don't do it. You know, it's long balls from the left or right-hand side up to the striker and go, well, maybe hold it up. And then I think Bamford's hold up play is a bit of a myth. I think the ball bounces off him more than it sticks to him. His first touch sometimes is horrendous.
I've been saying for flipping.
He spent time chasing around his first touch. Like what is the saying goes? Your first touch is so bad, your second's a tackle. You know, and that's Bamford for me. Rodrigo's got to finish in him, but if you're not going to play to the strengths of your strikers, and you can't play those strikers, you got to figure out a different way of doing it. And right now, we have 2 strikers that we're not playing to their strengths. We know Bamford needs the ball in behind to run at it, and Rodrigo needs bodies around him and balls cut back for first-time shots, and he's not getting them either right now. So right now, I completely agree with what Chris said. I think you completely change it up altogether, and you go, and I know we got beaten. Arsenal scored 4 against us, but some of the best stuff that we've done in the last couple of weeks was against Arsenal. That was with Rasmus Christensen playing in midfield. At least he was getting stuck into people and doing the 5-yard passes. And then you've got the likes of Sinistera and Somerville just running past people. I completely agree with Chris. I would shake it up completely and maybe take the 9 out completely and go with 3 lads with pace up front and try and get in behind teams.
Yeah,
at least run at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, you can tell I'm even depressed doing this, do you know what I mean? It's brutal, isn't it? I can't see the wood through the trees light at the end of the tunnel. Does anyone have any confidence that he will ring the changes? Because I think We've seen some after Palace. We've seen some after Liverpool, but only little increment ones. Does anyone have any confidence he will?
Does he watch this, Joe?
Doubt it, mate.
I think he'd have turned off about 5 minutes into this one.
But Meslier will start, and the back four, I think he'll bring Ayling back in, but it'll be Koch, Cooper, and Vogel again. I think probably. I don't know if he maybe brings Firpo back in. It'll still be the same two midfield. I'll almost guarantee it.
Don't say that.
And we won't see Cine and Nonto on the pitch at the same time.
Do you know what?
The thing is, his Watford side, it relied a lot on the creativity of players a bit like Sinistera and Nonto. When they had Pereira and Gerard Deulofeu cutting inside, that their whole thing was that they were fast, direct, skillful, and that's exactly what we've got in those two players. So his reluctance to play them as those sort of inside forwards, it baffles me, because that's like perfectly what he could. If he was coming into a club and say, right, I want a player like Gerard Deulofeu and I want a player like Roberto Pereira, those two are almost like, right, a shoe-in. Those two definitely in. First names on the team sheet. Like, but you won't play them, and I don't get I just don't get the thought process behind it.
I'd love to know what's gone on since Palace. I know we were told that nothing happened in the dressing room at halftime at Palace, but something's gone on somewhere, that players all of a sudden who should be playing aren't playing, or should be in consideration aren't in consideration. But like I've commented before, like I don't like Willy Gnonto's attitude when he gets taken off in games. I don't like the shaking of the head stuff and the giving out coming off the pitch. I hate that. And I know there's a lot of managers. You remember what Bielsa did with Pablo when he did that as well? He dropped him straight away, just dropped him with a power move. It's like you can't do it. But it's, I don't think he'll make the changes. I agree. I think he'll go pretty much the same. But I would like to see him do something different. We were told by Watford fans that watching Willy Gnonto, the chains be taken off him, he's been put in a box instead and locked away. Like it's not even. He hasn't been gotten near the pitch. So
is he fit?
I don't know if he is, and I wonder.
He didn't look it when he came on yesterday.
No,
he wasn't. He'd only been on for 10 minutes, and he wasn't tracking back. His attitude was poor yesterday, even with only 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, but that's probably because he keeps, being started on the bench. Do you know what I mean? He's probably like so pissed off.
Footballer. He shouldn't.
But he's also 19, Luke, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
No, well, in that case,
he's a moody teenager.
If he's fit enough, why is he not tracking back when he's only been playing for 10 minutes?
There's something else that we're not aware of. And I know like the stuff at the start when Javi came in was, it's great that he's not giving away everything in his team talk, but now we're all desperate to know what the hell is going on. But he still has to play a managerial game against other managers. He still has to keep his cards close to his chest. He still can't give away stuff. So he's got that to deal with as well. But I mean, he has to do something different against Leicester, because if we don't win the next two games, that's it. It's over. It's done. Forget about it, because the teams below us, Leicester picked up 3 points. Bournemouth just keep scrapping; they won't go away. You get dragged back into it to get out of it again. Forest will pick up a point or two between now and the end of the season, and there's only a point or two in it. So if we don't get that gap in the next two games, going into the last four, and even seeing Spurs getting thrashed today, they'll still trash us. Especially if we'll be
the team, won't we? Spurs will lose every game now up until when they play us, and the pundits will be like, Spurs haven't won in 10. And
Frank Lampard, Chris, he's the Frank Lampard's only win in his last 7-day managerial games was against us, the only one. But like, it's if we're relying on the last four, Newcastle, Man City, West Ham, and Spurs, if we're relying on those 4 games to save ourselves, we're done. We're done. So it has to be in the next two. And then we really have to hope that things go our way below us, which I don't necessarily think that they will. We are the team, right now, we're the team that everyone said, one team every year implodes. That's us. Right now, we are the team that has imploded. 4 against Arsenal, 5 against Palace, 6 against Liverpool, 2 against Fulham. We're conceding every single game, more than 1 goal. We are the team that has imploded. Now, whether it's happened early enough that we can save it between now and the end of it, I don't know. But if he goes with this, it's the definition of insanity stuff. If he goes with the same team again, we're going to get the same performance. It has to change.
It's the personnel, though, isn't it, Jet? I mean, the personnel in the dressing room in terms of, Javi and the coaching staff. I mean, there doesn't seem to, no one's making an impact.
I don't.
Time. What the hell are they saying?
I don't blame the manager because I keep saying it. How many managers' fault is it going to be before we actually start looking at the players and the recruitment team and going, that's the problem? The problems aren't the managers. The problems are the players and the pitch.
Yeah, but it's his choice. It's his fault choosing the same team every single time and expecting a different result.
He played around with it an awful lot when he first came in, and I think he landed on a result and thought that's the 11. That's the 11 that will get us out of this. And it hasn't been. And now he's in a situation where 3 defeats in a row, and the Fulham game, maybe it's the wake-up call, maybe it's the one that he needed to go, actually, no, I can't rely on these guys because I'm still waiting on the return of my Junior Firpo and Jack Harrison apology letters that I was tweeted at to start sending out to people. So they haven't come back to me yet. But I mean, he's relied on these players to do a job because they did it for 2 games. Haven't done it since. The Fulham one is the only team that you could look and go, maybe we should, but Palace as well, maybe. But there's a common denominator here now, and it's a couple of players, and they need to come out.
Do you know what as well? If there wasn't, and we'll never know, there's always the rumours around something happening at half-time against Palace. But I'd be more bothered now in the 3 games since, or whatever it's been, if there hasn't been something going at half-time, because I'm not being funny. If I'm in that changing room with that bunch as one of the supposed leaders, I'm knocking heads together.
I'm launching water balls around the place, yeah.
If you can't take a rollicking and a smack around the edge, you know what? You're not worth it. You haven't got the bottle for this. So go park yourself on the bench. So these players, they're too pampered and looked after, clearly.
Yeah. Snowflakes, Chris. Snowflakes, a lot of them.
The thing is, this season, we've talked so many times about this game's absolutely vital. We get these 3 points, and we haven't picked them up. But now, these 2 games, we found out what those players are made of. If they get points from them, we stay up. If they get 6 points from them, or even 4 points, I think we might stay up. If they don't get any points from them, then they've made a rod for their own back and we're going down, because those last 4 games, they've got to know how impossible it is to get any wins from those 4 games. I mean, West Ham's a possibility, but even then, when you actually come up against Man City, West Ham, Newcastle and Spurs, it's like these 2 games are the biggest games since we've been back in the Premier League, other than obviously Brentford last season. So yeah, it's properly crunch time now. We find out whether those players actually do give a shit or not in these next 2 games.
Can we do ourselves all a favor? Can we remember this conversation for when if they do for some miracle manage to dig themselves out of this and survive this season? Can we just remember how trash they have been, and then we get to the next season, they don't fall into the same belief of going, actually, the players are fine, they're good. Yeah. There needs to be a clear out, a full clear out, and a lot of money. If the 49ers do come in, they have a lot of money they're going to have to spend because there's a massive upgrade and a clear out needed.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Like, we need a new strike force. Wingers were all right, but we need a brand new midfield. And the defense, the defense needs gutting. The defense needs gutting.
And who would you have? Who would you be going after as manager?
I don't. It depends what division we're in, Kate. Do you know what I mean? And I'd love to have had Slot, but he'll go bigger than Leeds now, I think. But we'll see. And Iriola's only won 1 game, I think, has he since, or something like that? It's not gone well for
Gallardo's still potentially apparently still interested in the gig, but it depends on where we are.
We shall see. We shall see. There is many twists and turns to come. Hopefully, Leeds United are on the right side of it, but we'll have to wait and see.
For 48 hours, Joe, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. This is the thing. Don't, man, because you start getting me excited, man. I'm like, yo, we will do it. We're going to do it. Who's going to, I bet you a majority will be going to the game, right? Tuesday.
I'm not going.
Watching it now.
You're not going, Luke. Why?
I'd avoid midweeks, mate. Just be traveling.
No, that's fair. It is. I know I've done them before, and you get back like AM. It's brutal.
And when you lose every week, it's not a great drive back, is it?
Yeah. No. Rocco, are you obviously you'll be at the game. If we concede early, it's going to be toxic in there. And in the away end, they were singing Marcelo Bielsa, Victor Orta, time to go. It's going to get brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hope it does. I will obviously I hope we win.
Yeah.
But what I'm worried about now is that they won't turn up. Like when we're already relegated and we're turning up to Newcastle, and then they'll say that the police advise them not to turn up at Ellen Road, and we won't be able to actually voice our opinions. So, and I'm actually scheduled to be away that game as well. So, like, I really want to give them hell. And to be honest, like.
Hit him.
Yeah, I'm not advocating violence, but just to get it off your chest and let them really know. Because I mean, for all the Orta out stuff, and my God, I agree 1,000,000%. It's Radrizzani. Like he cannot. It's all Radrizzani. How he could stick by Orta all this time is unforgivable. It's insane. So
it's him who employs him,
isn't it?
Yeah.
That signs off on all decisions.
Yeah. He's checked out, hasn't he? He's isn't he in the process of like having something to do with Milan, AC Milan?
Yeah, he's in a consortium into Milan, yeah.
But the thing is, though, Radrizzani's shitting himself because he's about to lose about 300 million if we go
270,
down. Yeah. So there's a lot of money in this for him.
He needs to. Ornstein keeps saying that 49ers are pulling out of the deal, but
it's not true, though. Is
it's
it?
not true. It's
not 49% or whatever.
They would have to sell that in order to get out of it, which they won't do. But they just value the club at 150 million if it's in the championship, but they value it at 420. So he lose 270, but he needs every single penny of that for the takeover of Inter because he's only a shareholder in a consortium of people taking over Inter. So he needs every single penny he can get from this. But he's checked out. He's done. Like he said, he isn't putting any more money into the club. So if Ornstein is saying the 49ers are pulling out, well, Radrizzani is 70% through his exit strategy. Oh, Brighton missed. Done.
Oh, the Man United through well. Oh no.
No.
Oh, I'm behind.
Sorry. I think we'll leave it there, folks. We'll be back on Tuesday or Wednesday. Sorry, we'll be back anyway. We're going to be back. We'll see how many of us is still here after.
Hopefully, we might be smiling.
Yeah,
I think it's more like my head planted in the television screen, Max, than be smiling.
This is the
well,
thing.
You might turn upwards with your head through a TV.
On my shoulders.
We'll see. We'll see. Listen, everyone, thanks for sitting through that. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and get your comments in. Please head on over to everyone's channels: Jers, Kate's, Max, Luke. Chris is a bit of a free agent right now, and of course, check out Rocco on your podcast feed on Leeds. So these four over here have got channels and podcasts. In Luke case, this one podcast, Chris is just moonlighting. But it's great to have you back, Chris. Predictions. All right, okay, we'll quickly do that then before we leave. Just score prediction for Tuesday night.
2-2.
Kate, score prediction.
I said 1-1 against Fulham. Oh God. I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I just don't know whether.
Just say it, man. Just say it. Stick your chest
2-1
out and
Leicester,
say it.
Actually, that's what I think.
2-1 to Leicester. There you go, Rocco.
At least.
Yeah. Good shout. 2-1 to Leicester. I'll go with.
And I hate doing that.
Max, I'm going to
5-0 Leeds.
Give us your head.
2-0 Leeds. We're going to Verba back in at left centre back, solid at the back, score 2 goals. Come on.
I hope you're right, mate. Luke?
2-0 Leeds as well, but if Harvey Barnes plays, we lose 3-2.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about the Harvey Barnes factor.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2-1.
I think he's playing. Yeah, that's
Is Albright still there as well? Is he? Dig him out.
I hope Madison's not well as well. So
and he is well.
Past fit.
He will. Yeah.
He's going to hammer us with that midfield. If we go with McKennie and Rocker, this game over. Chris?
1-1.
Yeah.
That's positive, man. Really positive.
The thing is, that just puts us in purgatory still, doesn't it? Where we just don't know what's happening. Just 1 point is just like, is that enough?
No.
No, we don't know though, do we? That's the thing. You never know.
There's only a point in it at the moment. You're adding the point, you're keeping it exactly as it is. And then we've got, as we said, we've got the 3 to 4 games to finish it up with. I don't think it's enough. I think we have to get 6.
Yeah, I forgot these super chats. I'm really, really sorry. LUFC Jack says, who stays if we go down? None of them. Sell them all. Alex says, agree with Chris, Max and Joe and others earlier. That's why Adams is a huge loss. He gets it and fits the Leeds United culture with his scrap and heart. There's something in this. And I was really disappointed with this comment here. Panel already resigned, but fans won't give up. We are all fans, Tony.
No, because I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I know, exactly.
What are we supposed to do? I'll come on here and pretend that we're not disappointed with it. Just put on happy faces.
Keep the faith, remember. Keep the faith. And also, do you think this helps the players, Joe? As though they're all sat there in the dressing room watching us.
Do you think any of them give a shit what we think?
Yes, exactly.
Have his video analysis this week.
Yeah, he does.
Word.
Yeah,
still better than Netflix.
Yeah, it's true. Right, we'll leave it there, folks. Thanks as always. No tune for you today. Actually, we'll finish with this. One sec. I hate you so